The Latros Mountains, called in Attic times Latmos, or now in modern Turkey Beşparmak Dağı, are a mountain range that reach 1,367 meters above sea level. They lie about 47 kilometers northeast of Miletus, on the western coast of Asia Minor, facing the islands of Samos and Patmos. Another name for the mountains, Latra, is from the Greek word for serving God, a name which the area received when it became the home of countless monks who dedicated their lives to that service. Mount Latros was one of the greatest monastic centers in Byzantium. It became famous in the 7th century after the sudden spread of Islam and the expansion of the Arabic Caliphate in the Near East. When the great monastic lands of Egypt, Palestine, and Syria fell into Islamic hands, this forced many monastics to flee to the western regions of the Byzantine Empire. Mount Latros was one such destination for the exiled monks. Between the foot of Mount Latros and the picturesque Lake Batha is a unique rocky area which the Byzantines called Philermos, which means love of the desert and solitude. Here, as well as along the shores of the lake and on its islands, monastic communities sprang up which were active until the 13th century. In addition to 16 Cenobite monasteries, all forms of monastic life flourished. There were skeets and hermitages scattered throughout the mountain cliffs, in caves and between deep ravines, and on the peaks of the mountain. Many pilgrims visited this place. The Latros elders were famous spiritual teachers throughout the Byzantine Empire. Many of them were glorified through the gifts of miracle working and clairvoyance. Byzantine emperors and military leaders would ask them for advice and blessings for their wars. The The Latros Protos Isidore participated in the Seventh Ecumenical Council of Nicaea. The monastic center at Latros reached its apex during the 11th century. By the beginning of the next century, it began to decline. Prior to its final devastation, when Asia Minor fell irreversibly into the hands of the Turks, Latros experienced a brief renewal during the Nicene Empire in the 13th century. Not much is known about the individual monasteries of Latros, nor of the Latrian community as a whole, even to experts of Byzantine history. It has not been the subject of extensive historical and archaeological research until now. Of the 16 monasteries of Latros, the most famous is the Kelivaron Monastery, which was founded in the 7th century by monks from Mount Sinai, and the Stylos Monastery, founded by Saint Paul of Latros in the 11th century. The Kelivaron Monastery is the oldest and most important monastery in the region, and its abbot was the protos of the entire Latvian monastic community. The Latvian mountain has flowered with countless ascetics, of whom the Church has canonized the following: Saint Arsenius, Saint Paul, Saint Abraham, Saint Nicephorus of Miletus, Saint Anastasius, Saint Akakios, and Saint Christodulus of Patmos. Today, 3 smaller churches can be recognized among the ruins. We came upon preserved remains of frescoes in several places in the monastery, on walls and on vaults. At first glance, the monastery complex of Kelivaron can be divided into 2 parts: a fortified part built on the tops of the rocks, and a large plateau where other monastery buildings are located. In the monastery and its immediate surroundings, there are small rooms of various sizes and shapes, in naturally hollow rocks into which stone walls have been built. It is difficult to determine which of these rooms were cave churches and which were hermitages. In one of these rooms, frescoes from the 11th and 12th centuries have been preserved, which depict scenes from the life of Christ. On the lower level of the monastery, there appears to be the bed of a mountain river that ran through the entire monastery grounds. On this plateau are the remains of larger buildings, including a monastery dining hall, with an apse which was the place of honor of the abbot. of these churches we sang the Deprian to the Holy Fathers of Latros.
Latriskih sedmočislennikov Pavla Arsenija, Avrama Nikifora, Anastasija, Akakija i Hristodula, kupje s obeščislenim sonmom pustinjih otcev, ihže imena nevjedomi, žitijem ravno angelnim sodjelavših, goru latrijskuju nebom, i jakože zvijezd nebestih ne iščiskljajem ih, monašestvujuših na njej sobravših. Voshvalim si vzivajuše k njim, od svjakija nuždi i navjeta, izbaviteni, Latrijskija gori, besmrtnaja slavo. Latrijski molite Boga, Sveti Pavle, Latrijski molite Sveti Arsenije, Latrijski molite Boga, Sveti
We visited Mount Latros in November of 2024. It took us about an hour to walk from the shores of Lake Bafa, or to be precise, from Golik village, the nearest settlement, to Kelivaron Monastery's ruins. O venerable fathers who shone forth from Mount Latros, pray to God for us.